This is 7 News at 5:30.
First on 7, a clue to a crime that could help a widow and police track down the man who killed her husband. Hello and welcome, everybody. He was at his vacation home in Lauderhill.
His company opened the door to killers, and police believe this group has struck before. Let's go to Rosh Lowe. He's live at the Lauderhill Police Department with the words of warning in our top story. Rosh?
Okay, first off, let me tell you what Lauderhill police do have this evening. They have incredible surveillance video. You will see all of the people in that video, 3 women, 2 men, who police believe not only robbed but murdered a father of 2 who was vacationing here in South Florida.
He had a family, and the fact that he had to die alone is something that I'll have to deal with for the rest of my life.
Nakia speaks to us from her home in Virginia. On February 11th, her 44-year-old husband, Emerald, a successful businessman, was murdered in Lauderhill.
We would have celebrated our 17th anniversary on March 15th, so we've been married for 16 years.
Cops say Senior, who was driving a Bentley, met 3 women in downtown Fort Lauderdale. This is just released video of the victim holding hands with one of the women, walking at around 3:30 in the morning. At around 6:19, you can see 3 women walk into the elevator with the victim. Cops say they are headed to his apartment. At 7:28 in the morning, this woman dressed in red comes to the lobby. Cops say she leaves the door open for these men, who you see after the murder, running away with the group of women.
It's very important for the public to pay attention to this, because from what we can gather from video surveillance is that we believe that our victim may have been targeted, or maybe just a crime of opportunity, but we do believe that the primary focus was a robbery.
Cops believe this group has targeted other men, and now they are wanted for robbery and murder. Look at this woman smiling after the victim is shot. Cops say this cold-hearted group needs to be brought to justice.
There's this emptiness that someone would actually take away my husband, the father of my children, just for a simplest act of greed.
Emerald leaves behind a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. Now, what is rare about this case is that police have so much clear, crystal clear surveillance video. So tonight, here's what they're hoping. They're hoping somebody out there recognizes any member of this group and will pick up the phone and call them. Broward Crime Stoppers, 954-493-TIPS. An added incentive here, the reward is now up to $10,000. We're live in Lauderhill. Rosh Lowe, 7 News.
Yeah, we're here in Atascocita because Curtis Guillory, Ashley's husband, says that Ashley used to work here in this area. He met us up here today to speak about her, saying these past few weeks have been really tough, and he is glad for the closure.
I just want to thank all of y'all, everybody out there, for helping me, helping my wife come back home. I can let her rest.
Ashley Guillory was reported missing on September 9th. Police say they believe she was killed in the early morning hours of September 5th at the Fondren Inn. Remains believed to be hers were found Tuesday in an undisclosed location in Fort Bend County.
I was left thinking she was getting to happen.
48-year-old Willie Pat Brown is the person police believe is responsible for Ashley's death. Her husband says she had been friends with the suspect for more than 15 years.
She introduced me to him 4 or 5 years ago when we came down here. If she loved him, I loved him. I open arms, I accepted it. Never thought he would do nothing like this.
Guillory says his wife loved everyone and says they've been married almost 3 years.
The most amazing person that God put on this earth. Simple as that.
With this point, there are still a lot of questions as to exactly what happened leading up to Ashley's death. So far, police have not released any information about motive or why they believe Brown may have done this. Reporting live in Atascocita, Courtney Carpenter, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful Friday. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for worshiping the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening. Let's get some worship and praises in as well as some rest. We definitely need to, with the world's up and coming events, if you understand what I'm saying. We as saints, repentant saints, are going to need all of the protection and blessings from the Most High that we can get. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in case you guys are wondering why I'm, showing these different circumstances of 3 different people here, it's because basically all of them have one thing in common, and that's creeping. Creeping. And also, before I get into the video, I would like to say condolences to the bereaved spouses and families. Just the same. This video is not to throw shade on your passed on loved ones in any way, shape, or form. I'm just pointing out, what these people were doing prior to their deaths. You understand? These were married people. Now, the first case that you guys seen with the man in Florida that they claim, was flossing, with his Mercedes Benz and gold watches and rings and all that kind of stuff. They got into, the elevator with the little holes and shit, and then they set him up to rob him and they killed him. Those people were found, they were caught, and they did, they are arrested. That case happened back in 2018, by the way. You understand? The second, situation with the woman that became missing, the second video. My question is this. What the hell was she doing in a motel with that man that she had been knowing for 15, 20 some years in the first place? Okay? Not to say that these people's lives should have ended. I'm not saying hooray because their lives ended, for their discretions. Okay? But the Most High don't play, and you will get judged for creeping. Okay? Now, this is the third story right here that I happened to come across. Now, check this out now. Boyfriend accused of murdering California mom found dead by husband, daughters, returning from vacation. Jameen Basells, 27, was arrested. No, his name is not Jameen, it's Jamie Basells, 27, was arrested Saturday in connection with the death of Virginia Gina Cotero. Okay? And I guess this is the victim right here, Cotero. Now, this story basically says her husband and her 2 daughters went on vacation, to I think Mexico or something like that. We'll know when we get into it. But I'm gonna ask this question first and foremost. Why in the hell was she with them? She should have been with them in the first place. See, this is what I'm saying. Now, all this little deception, you understand? Well, these people got caught, you know what I'm saying, in their little deceptive ways in the worst way. Okay? Let's get into this particular story. An arrest has been made in connection with the killing of a California mother whose husband and daughters found her dead after they returned from a vacation in Mexico. To Mexico. Jamie Basells, 27, was arrested on murder charges Saturday. He is accused of killing 36-year-old Virginia Gina Cotero. According to the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner Coroner, Cotero died from a stab wound to the neck. Strangulation with ligature was also a contributing factor. Police were called to her Slymore home on September 7th after her husband and her 3 teenage children, who had been away for a holiday weekend in Mexico, found her dead inside. Her family had been out of town. They returned home Tuesday night and they discovered her. LAPD detectives Christine Basells previously told people, she had been deceased for an unknown amount of time, but definitely several days. Her brother, Sean Sato, told NBC4 that he believed Cotero was probably killed shortly after her family left on Friday. Okay. See, this is what I'm saying. There's an old saying, old cliche about oh, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. You know, this woman and all the rest of these people, you know, before they weaved a very tangled web for themselves that they couldn't get out of. And it just so happens that the web was deadly. You understand? Now, to continue, I called her the last few days, no response, he said. Cantero's car was missing, but it was recovered in LAPD's Northeast Division, miles away from her home. Police say Basales was Cantero's boyfriend, whom she had been dating for several months. At the time of her death, she was separated from her husband. CBS 2 reported. Now, I got to beg to differ on that. Notice that it said at the time of her death, she was separated from her husband. Okay. Well, how is it that the husband and, I have to make the correction, three teenagers, you know, return home to find, you know, the woman dead. Okay. Now let's continue. So see that's debunked right there. Unless maybe they were separated. Let's say, for example, he lived in one place and the daughters lived with her. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe that's what it could have been. Okay, let's continue. He may have been staying with them off and on, says Marcel. There is still a lot of information in this case we're not giving to discuss. Basales was detained after a fight in Santa Monica on September 10th at 11:20 p.m., according to Santa Monica Police Department spokesman Lieutenant Rudy Flores. The officer was driving up into a parking lot and came across a fight, he tells People. At some point, they determined some individuals, and one of those individuals was Jamie Basales. I had put out a warrant. Now it says warrant. I guess he meant warrant, but anyway, I had put out a warrant for him that we were looking for him in connection with this investigation, and Santa Monica Police Department took him into custody based on that, says Mansell. I arrested him after my interview with him. Okay, Basales is being held on $2 million bail. He is scheduled to be arraigned Tuesday. It was not immediately clear if he had retained a lawyer to comment on his behalf. Sato described Cantero as a dedicated mother who loved her kids, would give her shirt off her back for anybody, NBC4 reported. Longtime friend Astacia McGinnis, Astacia McInnes told NBC4 that Cantero helped her when she was going through a rough patch. She fed me, she clothed me, said McInnes. Never charged me nothing when she cooked. She made sure I had a plate too. Okay? Goes on to say here in conclusion, anyone with information about Cantero's death is asked to contact the Los Angeles Police Department Valley Bureau Homicide at 818-374-9550. Anyone wishing to maintain anonymous should call the LA Regional Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 800-222-8477. Okay? Now, see, the thing is this. Well, a lot of people got to understand. All right? If you're married, you're supposed to be with your spouse, regardless of what this American system says about marriage. If you are not married, if you're married and you're not together, then you should be properly divorced. Okay? Now, some people might beg to differ, but in Hebrew law, I know it's mostly going to be women, that's going to probably beg to differ. Okay? But in the Hebrew law, if a man and a woman, okay, was married, and for whatever reason, that man put his wife away with a divorce, a bill of divorcement, he's free to go and marry another woman. But she's not free to go and marry another man. And if she does, she's considered an adulterer. Okay? Now, like I said, I did not write those rules. Those are, I guess written in the book of Torah. Okay, so yeah, that is the Hebrew way. Myself, I'm just looking at it like this. If I don't want to be with somebody, I'm gonna just go on about my merry way. They don't bother me, I don't bother them, and hopefully we ain't got no ties between each other. And then that makes it a lot better when you fall out of love with somebody. You understand, and y'all ain't got no ties where you got to be worried about dealing with them. And mostly, a lot of times, it be children. But yeah, that's what it means. But man, far as the word go, about marriage and all that kind of stuff, it is strict. You understand? I mean, basically, it comes down to basically like death to the adulterer. Okay? Here in Ezekiel 16:38, and I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy. There you have it. You see what I'm saying? See, I'm scared of that. I'm scared of that. Don't break wedlock. If you get married, if you're married to somebody, keep the marriage bed undefiled. Don't be bringing other people into your bed. You understand? In other words, don't be creeping out of the house, jumping in bed with other folks, and then coming back in your house, bringing that folks, whoever you dealing with, same DNA that you've transferred back into your house and back into your bed with your spouse. You see what I mean? Because, hey, basically, it can prove fatal, as it did in these particular 3 situations right here. Okay? Infidelity sure did prove fatal for these 3. It's too bad. But it can serve as a message and a warning to the rest of us married people. Okay? Don't mess around. Don't forsake the vows. Don't break wedlock. Don't cheat. You understand? It's not worth it. You only wind up, bringing embarrassment to your spouse, and shame on your family and every damn thing else, because their deeds were found out. That's just what it is. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.